apparently Gen Z and millennials are just lobbing food in the bin all the time, well ahead of its use by date or even best before display until date. They don't know how their elders used to live. It's probably because their elders are the ones buying the food. The minute you start having to, deal with your own larder, believe me, you ain't throwing things away. You're basically sniffing it instead. But geniusly, a chap called Jake Blaisdell co-founded a company called Remy, and Remy is an app that leverages AI to reduce users' household food waste by 70% while saving them time and money. Essentially, what Jake seems to have come up with is food doge. That's right, he'll sit there and audit your cupboards and tell you what needs to be cut and what you can keep. Let's speak to him now. Hi, Jake, how are you doing?
Hi, Alex. I'm great, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, I am good. You're going to use that, aren't you, food doge?
100%. I'm going to clip this, put it straight on TikTok.
Woohoo! Right, now, tell us about your app. I mean, and also, what did you invent the app? Because actually, you knew this. You knew there were loads of young people just chucking stuff in the bin that was perfectly viable.
100%. So I think the idea of the app came from when I was at university. I founded this with my my best friend from university. We'd come home every evening, we'd open our fridge, and it was honestly pretty disgusting there, as you can imagine. Student flat, so we'd have to throw everything in the bin. We felt incredibly guilty about this. So we did a bit of research into why people like us are throwing away their food. We found it was for 4 key reasons. So people don't know what's in their kitchen and when it's going to expire. When we were going to the store, we didn't have a clear plan as to what we were going to buy. So we bought loads of random ingredients. When it was time to actually incorporate these ingredients into our meals, we didn't have an effective way of doing that. We didn't have the knowledge. And finally, we've heard over and over that just managing your kitchen sustainably takes a lot of time. And this is time that we simply didn't have. So we built Remy, which, as you said, uses AI to reduce household food waste by 70%. But really importantly, by using up all your food, you're saving a lot of time and money. So from Remy, you can see what's in your kitchen, when it's going to expire, the meals you can make with your ingredients, and then if you're missing anything, you can order it directly through the app.
So when you've got that jar of almost funky goji berries, you can sort of go onto the app and it says, no, these goji berries will last another week. And what's more, here's a flan you could stick it in.
Exactly. We're taking a more proactive approach to food waste. So sending you the notifications before your ingredients are going to expire and showing you how you can use them with everything else that's in your kitchen.
What is the discrepancy between, the sell-by date and a lot of food out there? Because I remember this being reviewed before. Was it under the last government where they were basically saying, display dates, sell-by dates are different. And actually, when it comes to especially things like dairy, people should just give it the good old-fashioned sniff test. It worked for generations before we had all this labelling. But is there on some products just a huge amount of discrepancy between when people think that they, have to use it by and actually it'll go on, like, on a pirate ship for decades?
100%. And I'm an expert, some would say, in this field, but I'm still kind of working out what each one means. So I mean, use by is kind of a sign of safety, whether best before means if you don't use it now, it's going to start to decline in quality. I think what's really, really interesting, and you touched upon this when it comes to milk. I was recently told that the first ever person to put any expiration date on anything was actually Al Capone. He, I know, right?
Random facts, I love that. Okay, yeah, I'm all ears.
The reason being, and there are a couple different reasons as to why people think, but I think I know which one I think. So either his brother got really ill from some milk and he wanted to make sure that no one else got ill from milk, so put the expiration dates on milk. What I think the reason was is after the prohibition, he had all these bottling factories and wanted to bottle the milk himself, and he wanted to turn over as much milk as possible, so put expiration dates on the milk so people would throw it away once it had gone bad, which it probably hadn't gone bad at that point, so he could sell more. Now I think the supermarkets have a similar tactic that they're employing.
Do you know, you're probably right. I always say that big food especially are pretty indiscriminate and unscrupulous when it comes to the way that they fund their industry. I mean, Pete, your thoughts on this? I love the idea of food.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I can remember when I was at university, the amount of food we used to throw away was ridiculous. And also, I think you really strike on something, is that why are people not taught this at schools? And like, that is a huge thing about managing your budgets, managing how to cook and, you know, look after yourself, and these kind of basic things. You know, we just don't teach young people to do. And then we suddenly wander around saying, well, how don't you know it? Well, if you've never told somebody, you can't expect them to know it. And I think the educational kind of deficit there is a major factor that we have to definitely have to fix. And I think hopefully apps like Remy will kickstart a lot.
I mean, I haven't been at school for 1,000 years.
I'm even tempted to download it now.
I've been at school for 1,000 years. It's a long time since I was sort of like rattling around the corridors of a high school. But we didn't really have any lessons into food. We had some sort of cursory. I think I made an egg mayonnaise sandwich or something once. I think that was
Fruit salad.
And learnt where to put things in a fridge, and I think that was about it. But is this taught in schools now? Are people told how to cook and then how to sort of home economics, manage the economics of your kitchen?
I mean, I think you raise a really good point. I think we had cooking kind of classes at school, but I think we've grown up in a world where we've always had use by dates on our packaging, so we don't know anything else. I think as a result, we just follow them kind of religiously, and that's problematic. What's really interesting is a couple supermarkets are starting to take these use by dates. See, use by, sell by, expiry date. I don't even know which one to use. There are so many, it's so confusing. But they're starting to take them off fruit and veg, which will force people to start, you know, smelling, tasting, looking, and really ensuring that they're using all their ingredients before they actually go bad. I think it's interesting. I mean, there's no kind of legal, it's not legally binding to have expiration dates on fruit and veg. So taking them off is having hopefully a really positive impact.
Yeah, I mean, I just think fruit and veg shouldn't be even be packaged in the first place.
I think there's a really good point that you made earlier was actually about having a plan what you're going to buy. Yeah. Because that's also the financial aspect of this that is there as well.
You look like you're in a hostage video.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I'm very aware of how...
it really brings out your sort of palette as well.
Yeah. Wearing all black.
Thank you ever so much, Jake. Fantastic conversation. Good to see someone actually doing something to stop the profligate waste of the younger generations.